You type something into Google, and in less than a second, you get an answer. It feels instant, almost like the internet already knew what you were gonna ask, but that's not what's happening at all. Because the moment you hit search, your question begins a journey, and it's a lot bigger than you think. The first thing that happens is simple. Your device sends a signal. That signal goes to your Wi-Fi router. Then your router sends it to your internet provider. And from there, your search enters the internet, not the cloud, not the air, but a massive physical network. Most people imagine the internet as something invisible, but in reality, it's built on cables, real ones, thick fiber optic cables running under streets, through cities, across countries, and even across oceans. Some of these cables stretch for thousands of kilometers along the ocean floor, connecting entire continents together. And inside those cables, your search is traveling as light, not electricity. Light, tiny flashes moving incredibly fast through glass fibers. That's why everything feels instant. Your question is literally racing across the planet at close to the speed of light. But where is it going? It's heading towards something called a data center. A data center is basically a giant warehouse filled with computers, thousands of them, sometimes hundreds of thousands, all working together. Companies like Google have data centers all over the world, so your search doesn't have to travel too far. The system automatically sends your request to the closest available location, because speed matters. Even a delay of a few milliseconds can make things feel slow. When your search finally reaches a data center, this is where things get interesting, because Google is not searching the entire internet live. That would take way too long. Instead, it already has a copy of the internet, or at least a huge portion of it. Before you ever searched anything, Google had already been busy. It uses programs called crawlers. These crawlers move across the internet 24/7, visiting websites, reading pages, and storing information. They follow links from one page to another over and over again, building a massive map of the web. All of that information is stored in something called an index. Think of it like the biggest library in the world, but instead of books, it's websites, billions of them, organized, sorted, and ready to be searched instantly. So when you type something into Google, you're not searching the internet, you're searching Google's index. That's why it's so fast. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Google doesn't just match words, it tries to understand what you actually mean. Let's say you search Apple. Do you mean the fruit, the company, or the phone? Google has to figure that out instantly. This is called understanding intent, and it's one of the hardest parts of search. Google looks at your words, but also your location and your previous searches, and even what most people usually mean when they type that. Then comes the ranking, because Google might find millions of results, but it can't show you all of them, so it has to decide what comes first. To do that, it uses complex systems called algorithms. These systems rank pages based on hundreds of factors. Things like how relevant the page is, how trustworthy the website is, how many other sites link to it, how fast it loads, and how useful it is to users. All of this happens in a fraction of a second. No human is involved. It's all automated. Out of billions of pages, Google selects the ones it believes are the best, and then it prepares to send them back to you. Now your results start their journey back. They travel through the same cables, the same network, back through your provider, back to your router, and finally to your screen. And all of that, from typing a question to getting an answer, happened in less than a second. But there's one more thing, and this part surprises a lot of people. Not everyone sees the same results, even if they search the exact same thing. Google personalizes what you see. It might adjust results based on where you are, what you've searched before, what you tend to click on. That's why your Google is slightly different from someone else's. So the next time you type something into Google, remember this. Your question didn't just stay on your phone. It traveled through underground cables, across cities and oceans, into massive warehouses filled with computers, searched through billions of pages, and came back with an answer. All faster than you can blink. And the craziest part, you'll probably do it again in the next few minutes without even thinking about it. Subscribe if you want to understand how the invisible systems around you actually work.